On Christmas Eve, a night guard at a snowbound bus station is blamed for delays as stranded travelers grow tense. He risks his job by unlocking a staff-only room, spends his own money on hot food, and calls an estranged brother for blankets, quietly settling chaos while hiding a custody hearing in the morning. Shockingly, the angriest man apologizes, people pitch in, and a small wave of kindness rewrites a bleak night without fanfare. Before we get started, tap like, share, and subscribe to join the journey. And tell me, where in the world are you watching? Drop your country below. I love seeing the global trail of these stories. The bus station smells like wet wool and burned coffee. It is Christmas Eve. A fake tree leans near the ticket counter, half lit, the top star pointed at nothing. Carols hiss from a radio that has lost one speaker. The floor is a mix of salt and dirty slush. Marcus taps the cracked edge of the plexiglass with a coin to keep himself awake. People slide past him without looking. Heavy coats, bags that bite into fingers, the low hum of worry. He is the night guard, not the hero. He does rounds, checks doors, picks up a cup that rolled under a seat and mops the sticky ring it left. Someone has left a scarf on a radiator. He folds it and lays it on the lost and found shelf. A kid in a hoodie skates the sidewalk until the wheels hit salt. A woman in scrubs sips from a travel mug and stares at her shoes. An older man tries to coax the vending machine to give up a bag of peanuts with the dignity of someone who has negotiated bigger things. No one sees him seeing them. At 7:12 p.m., the board blinks red, delayed, then cancelled again. The station exhales a long, tired sound. Outside, snow fattens the air. Weather alerts ping on phones. A storm has parked over the interstate like someone forgot to drive it home. We still running? Someone asks, without asking him. The line at the counter snags and grows. A woman swears. A guy with a red cap says he knew this would happen because it always does. Marcus radios dispatch. Dispatch answers with static and the words, "We're working on it." A man in a puffy camo jacket jabs a finger at him. "Hey, security," the man says. "Open the doors to the platform. We'll see if any drivers are brave." "That's not safe," Marcus says. His voice is quiet even. Platform's closed when the board says closed. The man lifts his chin like he's measuring height. "You work for me," he says to the whole room. Marcus looks past him, past the noise, past the fingers. He sees the people pressed into the night like a wall. He sees the little things, the little hurts. A hand with bitten nails. A boot sole flapping loose. A young woman with a toddler shifts from foot to foot near the vending machine. The toddler's snowsuit is the shade of bubble gum. Her hair sticks out in wisps under the hood. The woman has that look like being here costs money she doesn't have and tomorrow has already come for it. "Any idea how long?" she asks. Marcus shakes his head. She looks at the toddler, then at the floor. The baby is half asleep. The woman takes a breath and picks her up like she weighs more than she does. A card taped inside the booth says, "No loitering after midnight." The words are big. The words are easy. Marcus knows policy like he knows the sound of the heat kicking on in the ceiling vents. The heat has not kicked on in a while. He rubs his thumb against the edge of the card until it lifts. By 9, the station is full. Damp coats, red noses. An older couple shares a bench and the same scarf. The kid with the skateboard is now filming under the edge of his hoodie. Comments bubble up the screen, stranded in the ghost of Christmas. Laugh emojis float and pop. Dispatch calls back. "No movement until morning," the voice says, thin. "Roads are a mess. Do not let anyone on the platform." "Copy," Marcus says. He looks at the sign again. He thinks about the keyring on his belt. He thinks about the faces in the room, all of them bunched into one long-held breath. Marcus keys open the staff lounge and props the door with his boot. "Warm room," he says loud enough. "Couch isn't pretty, but it's heat. 2 at a time. Sit, 4 out, come back out so others can go in." He knows the camera in the corner is recording. He knows there's a memo somewhere with his name on it now. He also knows cold makes people angry and angry makes nights long. The woman with the toddler goes first. She doesn't thank him. Her eyes do. The camo jacket man pretends he doesn't see the door. Others shuffle in with that small hope that happens when you remember your hands again. He goes back out into the fat, slant snow and crosses to the pizza place. The world is quiet in that heavy way. Snow makes like a blanket over a cage of birds. His boots squeak. He can feel the cold through the seam that split since last winter. Above him, the streetlight hums. In the pizza place, a TV shows a game with no sound. A guy wipes flour off his hands on a towel. How many? The guy asks. 6 large, Marcus says. Pepperoni, 2 cheese, 2 plain, 1 veggie. Extra plates, if you have them. He slides his own card, winces at the total, and signs. The screen asks him if he wants to tip. He does. More than he should. The card dings and the number rolls in his head like a bad song. He thinks about his fridge. He thinks about next week. He carries 2 boxes on his arm and 2 pressed against his chest and balances 2 more on top. The door hits him in the elbow. He laughs once, quiet. At that, the smell of sauce and warm bread folds into the station like a blanket. Heads lift. Eyes warm by a degree. He sets the boxes on the counter and peels them open. He moves without saying much. Plates by the napkins. 1 per person to start, he says. Somebody says, bless you, like a cough. Somebody else says nothing but takes a slice like it's medicine. The man in the camo jacket clears his throat and mutters an apology. It's not you, the man says, not quite meeting Marcus's eyes. I just needed to yell at something. He takes a slice and steps back into his own space. A woman in scrubs laughs once and says, this is better than that machine, and nods at the vending row like they have a history. The kid with the skateboard aims his camera down and pockets the phone. Someone brings over a bag of clementines and they share those too. Marcus watches the room shift. Noise smooths. Shoulders ease down. The fake tree seems less tired, as if the broken bulb finally made peace with the others. He checks the back doors. He checks the front doors. He keeps moving because that's his trick for nights like this. His phone buzzes. He calls his brother, who hasn't picked up since July. It rings long enough to make its own kind of silence. Then a voice. Yeah. It's me, Marcus says. Station's packed. Snow. You got any blankets left at the church? A breath. We gave most to the shelter, his brother says. I got a couple in the back of the van. You know the lot. Yeah. I'll bring them, his brother says. You okay? Working, Marcus says, which is close enough. He hangs up and stares at the cracked screen. He glances at the cracked screen. Family court. 9:00 a.m., bold as a bruise. He slides the phone into his pocket. He could run home and put on a better shirt. He could try to sleep. He checks his watch instead and moves to the door. He feels the card receipt in his pocket like a dare. He feels the key ring on his belt like a weight and like a choice he keeps making. The woman with the toddler comes out of the lounge. The toddler's cheeks are pink now, the good kind. There was a couch, the woman says, like it was a story. We sat. Good, Marcus says. He digs a transit card from his wallet and hands it over. If you need this in the morning, he says. I can't take borrow, he says. Bring it back if you can. She nods and puts it in her coat pocket like it is small but sharp. A woman in blue scrubs starts stacking paper cups into a neat pyramid. She lines up napkins. She wipes the counter with slow, tired care. She ties the trash bag. She looks at Marcus. He nods once and she nods back like they signed something. A young man with a skateboard kills his live stream and asks for a broom. He takes the broom like he means it and starts sweeping the wet salt into a pile. He stops the broom to pick up a wrapper with his hand. He gives the broom back and then takes it again because there is more to do than he thought. A bus driver off shift jingles his keys and scribbles a ride list on a napkin. Got a 4-wheeler, he says. If you're headed near the West End and you're not weird about car seats, I got one in the back. People hear him and drift toward the napkin. He pairs 3 riders to 1 trip. He looks at Marcus after and shrugs like this is just what you do when you have a car and knees that still work. Other small things happen. The older man finally gets his peanuts out of the machine because a woman slaps the side just right. Someone drops 2 20s under the box of plates and slides away fast. The camo jacket man picks up 2 bags left near the door and asks whose they are instead of stomping them like a mood. The fake tree gets 3 paper ornaments torn from an old bus schedule, tied with dental floss someone found in a purse. No one makes a speech. No one knows how long this will last. A few find a spot on the floor, backs to the wall, arms folded over their chest, like life is a coat that fits better when you hold it closed. The clock walks toward midnight. The sign inside the booth has a corner peeled up now and looks less like a rule and more like a suggestion that never met a storm. Marcus roams. He checks the doors and the faces. He looks at the board like it might change out of politeness. He thinks about the morning and how it will come even if he is not ready. He thinks about a judge who has heard every story and a person across the table who is tired of hearing his. Maybe the job isn't to fix the storm. Maybe the job is to stand in the doorway and hold it open for a minute longer. To say, here, sit, warm up. We can be better than this for a little while. He picks up 2 empty boxes, breaks them down, and slides them into the bin. He wipes a table ring with the heel of his hand. He listens to the radio buzz out Silent Night in a voice that sounds like a place he has been and can't get to anymore. His brother arrives with blankets that smell like cedar. They do not hug. They stand side by side for a second. "You still wearing that hat?" his brother says. "Lost and found." Marcus says, touching the knit rim. "Nobody claimed it." His brother grins without opening it all the way. He hands over the blankets. He leaves with a wave that is more than he gave last time. The woman with the toddler dozes with her head back, mouth open the way people sleep when they run out of strong. The toddler flops sideways, and Marcus eases a blanket under her like he is setting down a dish that will spill. He writes the pizza total on a scrap of paper and clips it under the phone. He will figure it out. Maybe someone will slip him a finder's fee for returning a lost wallet tomorrow. Maybe he will cut cable this month. He has stretched worse things farther. The room is soft now. Even the vending machine looks less mean. The board blinks green in a way that makes 4 people cheer before it blinks back red like a tease. They groan, but it turns into a laugh. The laugh has a little steam in it. The windows sweat at the edges. He walks past the tree and straightens the fake star with 2 fingers. The star holds. He sits for the first time since 7. He does not let himself look at the clock. He looks at people. He lets his shoulders drop, then picks them back up, because that is also his trick. Outside, dawn lays a thin blue light over the crusted snow. Somewhere, a plough groans. Somewhere, the first bus grinds down a side street and noses toward the station, slow and cautious like a beast that learned something in the dark. Marcus stands. He stretches. He checks the door, because he checks the door. The coffee machine coughs and starts to smell like morning. The sign inside the booth still says what it says. The words are still big. The room breathes. The fake tree hums in the weak light. He steps to the front and watches for headlights. A paper snowflake, cut from a ticket envelope, turns in the warm air by the door. It spins once, twice, then hangs there and waits with everyone else.